Hello everyone, this is Lman. I'm the CEO and the co-founder of BiiLabs. Today I really to have this honor and pleasure to share some of our perspective of the digital identity with you. So let's enjoy the time. This question is about our history. So it's really remind me of many things from almost 4 years ago. So first of all, I want to confess, I'm not really the so-called true believer from the very beginning of the Bitcoin. I'm not really the miner. So actually my whole career life was following the mainstream and grow up with the well-known hardware industry in Taiwan. So if you know Taiwan, maybe you will know we are really famous. This island, this country, we are famous in the hardware manufacturing. We have very strong supply chain. To maybe right now the laptop you are using actually manufactured by Taiwan, and maybe your cell phone, the same. So actually, I was a product manager for almost 15 years. So I can say I know hardware industry. I know embedded, and I know IoT. So the last one, IoT, actually is the reason why I knew blockchain. So I'm also a guy who has cross industry experience in the past 25 years. I ever create ancient, actually it's really ancient because maybe this 25 years old is even older than your age. So after 25 years ago, I create an ancient social media. At that time, we don't have that term, social media. We don't have that term. So I create that during 90s. Witness the rising of the internet. So combine these two major, I say the reasons, or maybe what I have in the past, IoT and the internet. I have my own insight and the funds. It also becomes the aspect of the future. IoT will need a brand new internet infra to support that. Since the current internet actually were well defined during end of 90s. So again, maybe older than most of you. If there is a future, everything will actually connected together. So that means we will need a really totally brand new internet to support that future. If you hear some terms like IPv4, IPv6, actually it's just tell you why the current internet cannot sufficient for the future internet of things. So which my aspect in 2016, that blockchain might be the solution for the new IoT. So that's a major reason. Then actually the story and the journey of my company, BiiLabs, began by 2017 till now. In the real world, we have various kinds of identity. Like you definitely will have your birth certificate. If you don't have, well, you need to worry about that. Maybe you are not born by your mother. Yeah. And you will definitely have your diploma from your university. But then maybe still now, they're still on the paper. They all are kind of methods to tell the world who you are or what you did to interact with others. Let me take some example. Like in Taiwan, we need to prepare your own diploma. Actually, the real diploma, the copy. to apply for the job, because the company maybe need to know you are really a graduate from the computer science department. But the interesting question is, they are not really want to know where you are graduate from. They really want to know if you are really know how to code or not. But actually, the funny part is, many people maybe they graduate from the computer science department, but they don't code. Yeah. So the question behind question is, what the real identity means. So like another case, still in Taiwan. In Taiwan, we have a product of our health insurance system. It's a kind of social welfare. So we can actually use the health insurance card to identify whether you are you, no matter in the hospital or for the multiple purpose. It's very interesting because this is only for your health insurance to identify you can access the health insurance. But in Taiwan, we already give this card have more than the original define or meaning to itself. It is good. I can tell you, in Taiwan, most of the people they say, "Oh, it's really good, so convenient." And the only very last people usually worry about that, because the original idea of the health insurance card is not for that or so widely application purpose. So it's become a serious privacy issue. But guess people care or not? You can guess. This is a very also interesting question. I think that will depend on different areas, the regulation and even the culture. Like the last question, I already tell some example in Taiwan. So again, like in Taiwan, we have our ID card actually to identify yourself. But I know maybe most of you from no matter your nation, your country, your area, most of the country actually don't have this kind of ID card. You maybe have like your social security numbers and you have maybe your drive license, but definitely you don't have the ID card with your personal info on that. If you are interested, actually we in our ID card, we do really have some personal info on that. So if you really saw that, consider the cultural gap, you might say, "Oh God, it's unacceptable in my country." But actually it's like I say, it's a different areas, regulation and the culture. Let's back to the basic, I think the basic question. Why do I need to have an identity or even the digital identity? Why do you need that? If you don't need to interact with others or any service, I think you can live very well by yourself and without any identity, you can still there. But in the real world, you will see we still need to have lots of the interaction with the people, with the entities, with the public services. So that's why we need some mechanism to interact with them, especially like in the digital world. If you want to access some services, it is very reasonable to keep the basic records of you as a user. Before, we need to sacrifice our more privacy to access services. But if we can really have a new kind of digital identity, which is privacy by design, this is very important, privacy by design, then we can only maybe expose the necessary information to access the related service you need. It will more like the OOS. On the popular internet service like Apple also provide their own OOS by your own Apple ID with more privacy there. But it's also like compared to the others, most of the internet service like maybe you use the Google OOS and you have you ever use the Facebook login or even there are maybe more than 100 kinds of the OOS service in the world. So they will keep your records in their servers. So only thing you can only trust is they will not leak your privacy to the others. But do you really believe or not? I'm not sure you already hear the blockchain or not, but you definitely need to already hear about the Bitcoin. So actually, blockchain is the technology actually behind the Bitcoin itself. A blockchain is a set of the technology stack, include like cryptography and so on. So blockchain actually, we can say that it's not a really brand new technology. It's a set of the mature technology stack. And the wonderful part is Satoshi Nakamoto read the famous essay to show how he designed a system to combine all these technology stacks together, include the game theory together to build the Bitcoin till now. And no one really hacked the Bitcoin, hack the blockchain itself. But in the meantime, we can see lots of the current world, or we say the centralized world, like the bank service or ever hack someone or even by the internal files. So in my opinion, like blockchain is not only awesome because of the Bitcoin or the other cryptos like Ethereum or Dogecoin, but actually the most important part is this is a brand new global network backbone. This actually is from my heart. It's most important. It's a very wonderful technology set and have a very great rules behind that. And it's a totally new brand network. It's not only a technology. If only it's a technology, okay, I will not say blockchain is so important. The best part is this network is not controlled by someone specific. It's not really controlled by someone. And this make the blockchain become the possible exchange layer of the many things, especially like the digital identity. We can have built not the exchange layer, but also the verification layer without anyone can steal your privacy or even the digital asset from that network. And that network is again not controlled by anyone, even any government. That means no one can really know your privacy or your personal information unless exposed by yourself. It's really totally different than the current internet infra than before. So I will say the beautiful part is it's not only a technology, but it's also new network, especially suitable for the data exchange and also digital identity verification layer. In the past, you can see if you are using like a service from the Google or Facebook or else, the internet service provider needs to keep your privacy in a safe place. But still, we can see the user data leak time to time. You can see this kind of news actually again from time to time. So that's why we really thought maybe through the new methods, maybe through the blockchain, we can maybe improve that. So that idea is actually not come only from me. So we already have some relation and also cooperation with some digital identity foundation or the organization from Europe that we collaborate together to roll out some new source code based on some specific blockchain to really protect your privacy and you can still have the data exchange and also the service exchange with current internet from. So by this new methods formed by blockchain, we utilize the attribute of the blockchain to keep your records by yourself. Again, I think the most important is by yourself. It's not you don't want to expose yourself, but sometimes you will say, hey, why some internet service record my service without notifying me? So again, like I say, the blockchain will keep those records by yourself. You will aware that, and no one can read personal information from that. If everything you really design well, a user will even not aware there is so-called a blockchain there. You don't need to know, because we in the real world, in this kind of world, we have several layers of the application. So blockchain normally is a fundamental layer, and the user side, you will see have a better user experience and the user interface to guide you to do that. And so you will not actually aware this is a so-called blockchain layer. It's a long and a complex question. Due to the digital identity by blockchain is formed in different angles, but the function actually will look the same like the current account management you already experience the current service right now. You can see still the culture will have a so different impact. Like in the Western world, normally people really care about more privacy than Eastern world. So like again, the example I took in Taiwan, we really have a very powerful health insurance card, can have a multiple purpose. I will not say it's good or it's bad because it will depend on your comments from the Eastern world or Western world. So with the digital ID by blockchain, you will need a decentralized storage. This decentralized storage is like really store like the image or the video or any kind of the raw data generated by the service or by your event. Like, okay, you got your called the university diploma from university. So what's really the first image from your heart? What's the digital diploma? It's really still like a paper shape with the stamp, with some words, with maybe even your university logo there, or you already knew in the digital world. It's just a text records, no matter in the database or on the blockchain. So I think a suitable public blockchain to store your records and your any metadata on the chain itself, it will become like an exchange layer. So I don't really know who you are or where you graduate from, but I can only know you have degree from the computer science department or maybe from the history department. I only need to know that. I don't need to check your real diploma. It's not important in the digital world. It's all records. So we can even say we will really need a totally decentralized infra to substitute or maybe replace current centralized infra. That will really solve the problem, because most of the people, they really don't like it's very conflict and also complex question, because like most of the country, most of the cities, we don't really want the government really know much about you. But in some case, you still hope the government can do more for you. So it's a conflict. It's a very conflict, because if we really expect the government can really do more service for you, then they really need to have more your data and rely on that to provide the services. But in the other side, we still don't want the government know you. So yeah, so we are complex. So then we can say, if we want really have a real privacy by design digital ID, then okay, maybe took the blockchain as a global exchange layer might be a rational approach for that, a rational approach. And I especially consider right now, I think a very practical practice. Like right now, we know the world we are right now still face the COVID-19, so we cannot travel. And right now, the recent issue is how you can prove you really have the you have already vaccine, then you can really travel. How to prove and how to verify that? Right now, we only have a small yellow card to identify I already vaccinated by the maybe no matter the Moderna, BNT or AZ. But the big question is, can we really trust this is real records or not? Because it's just a paper. So that's why I think it's good, because if I need to say something is good during the COVID-19, it's because we need to think in a totally different angle instead of the old-fashioned solution. Okay, maybe like the one government, they can really prove for that, but the other government, we still need to have the exchange layer or verification layer to exchange the data. So who is the boss? Who can really share your data to the other country or the other services? Who can share the data for you? So that makes the vaccine passport over the blockchain become the rational and the possible approach. So if you really try to Google the vaccine passport and the blockchain together, we'll see some interesting discussion of that. So I think COVID-19 is not good, but something about the COVID-19 we can learn is we really need to have a totally different angle to think of everything in digitally and a real digital transformation. Let's look at the nature of the blockchain again. Like blockchain is decentralized. Blockchain have the immutable ledger, and the most, I always say, my favorite part is a brand new internet backbone that is not owned by specific corporates, governments, or anyone. Therefore, blockchain actually is not only a new technology, but also means a decentralized network that can empower not only the crypto, Bitcoin or Ethereum or any other kind of cryptos there, but also we can empower the digital ID roaming in the world without any entity or government to violate your privacy there. And the other beautiful part is totally follow the spirit of the privacy by design. So I would say for me, it's a totally true free compared to the current internet. So when I, just like your age, when I first time I saw internet, I really very excited about, whoa, what's that? Why? I can use the internet to connect to someone, not nearby me, but someone. I still remember the exciting when I dialed the first internet call to some Chinese in Sichuan. I still remember it's 1993. But after that, we see the internet getting powerful, but also different. We know we have more and more issue of the internet, current internet, no matter the privacy issue, but also monopoly issue from the current internet. So that's why we even see the W founder, Tim Berners-Lee, have the new statement of the Web 3.0. Because many of us, we start to aware the current internet is not perfect. It still have a problem, still have a defect, have a bug, have a problem, and it's hard to fix. So we need a brand new approach of the Web 3.0. So I felt again the same exciting or same touch because I'm right now 45, 46. I felt the same touch when I was the same age like you. So I thought blockchain will be the new and the true freedom, will set the true power of the internet, and that is a true free. This is the most precious, I would say, technology I can foresee, and I want to share with you.